It's Sal. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to share with you lots and lots of information about how to improve your tarot readings today. I've got a whole bunch of topics that we've never talked about before. I know some of you who may have been watching me do these once a month for quite a few years, you may be like, well, I know I've seen that topic before, but there's a lot of new stuff in here, which I'm really excited about. And I'm probably doing the biggest one I've done for a while because there were just so many great questions this month on the Q&A board and in the group, and also because I have released my new course, How to Read Tarot When You Struggle to Memorize the Cards. I've been getting more and more questions on that board too, on that Q&A board, so I've kind of gotten double the normal amount, so that means I've got lots for us to share. So if you haven't done one of these with me before, I apologize, I always tend to start off with a bit of a technical check-in, so I just need to make sure, wait a minute, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me. This is me. This is my technical check-in. I forgot to put this in. I hope you could all just hear me then. Thankfully, I've got a really loud voice. So I just want to check in and make sure everybody can hear me. So I can see there's a few people with us. If you could just pop in and just say hi and where you're from and that you can see me and hear me okay. And let me know if you could hear me when I first started then because that would have just come through this. Hello, Marcy. Marcy, could you hear me when I started before I put my earplugs in? I think I'm lucky because I have a very loud voice. So hopefully you could all hear the intro. It wasn't too quiet and weird. And so what I'm going to do for those of you who haven't done this before, what I usually do is I go through these topics, I let you know what the topics are going to be, and then you can ask questions along the way, but I won't answer the questions until the end. So there's a Q&A section at the end with me. Yes, you could hear me. Good, awesome. The sound probably just changed a bit. Thank you, Chelsea. You can see me from Maryland. Is that says Maryland? Yep. I hope it's Marilyn. Hello, Chelsea. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, for those of you who are watching the replay, it means that you'll be watching this on YouTube. So just make sure you hit subscribe so that you always get access to when I do these and you don't have to worry about missing out on them. Hello, Susie from Ohio. Yeah, so that's just the easiest way to always make sure that you are getting these, because sometimes people aren't in Facebook all the time and they don't know when they're happening, or they might miss out, or it might be the wrong time. Hello, Kunwa, are you coming to me from India? Is it like 6 in the morning there? If it is, it means you're up at my favourite time. That's the usual time I'm up. But I probably don't like to do these kind of things at 6 in the morning. I just like to be up and doing my morning walk. So I'm going to start by, first of all, just sharing what we're going to be talking about today. You are from India. Thank you. Thank you for joining me so early in the morning. I hope it's not too uncomfortable. So today what we're going to be talking about is how to use the tarot to find lost objects. We're going to be exploring doing tarot readings during retrograde Mercury. We're going to also be talking about using cheat sheets for yes and no questions. We'll also be exploring I've lost my thing. What happens if you get in like a 7-card spread or a Celtic Cross, if you get a short-term positive answer, but the long term, like the 12-month term, is negative, and what that means and how to manage that if you get that in a client, like how to rest assure them and what it means for them. We're also going to be looking at, this is one of my favorite subjects, those of you in my higher level courses who are in my love readings course and my career readings course on Udemy, you might already be familiar with some of this, but I'll go into it a bit more deeper, and that is looking at using dramatic tension between the different positions in a reading to go much deeper and get more accuracy about what the big contradictions and issues are for your client and how they can resolve them. So looking at the positions as not just being this position means this and this position means this, but actually looking at how they relate and connect with each other. So as I said, it is something I do a lot more in the higher level courses that are on Udemy that follow Tarot Card Success, but I just want to give you a few little examples today because a few people have been giving me I've been seeing readings and I'm thinking, oh, they're just missing that dramatic tension, which again is a bit more of an advanced skill. You're not expected to know it at the beginning level of Tarot Card Success, but I'll give you a few tips to get you started for those of you who are not quite ready to go into the higher level courses yet. And if you're in the higher level courses and you just want some more tips about it as well. I'm also going to talk about how you can get a free Sal Jade course this month. that will help you release psychic blocks and will also help you attract more clients to your business or put yourself out there as a professional. So hang in there because I'm going to be talking about that, how to do that. It's a special September promotion that I'm running. And I'm going to talk about the new bonus that I'm adding into the health readings course. So those of you who are enrolled in the health readings course, I'm adding a new bonus on using tarot cards to identify particular medical diagnoses in terms of kidney problems and which card represents what, and how to do it in a safe and ethical way, but also the complications and how to overcome those complications. So I'll talk about that a bit more at the end too. So thank you all for joining me. And before we get started, I'm just going to thank the following people who have taken the time to review Tarot Card Success and my new course and any other courses and anyone else who's taken the time to put some comments and talk about what you've liked about the courses. Thank you so much. So thank you to Patrice Zink, Elizabeth Jatta, Nidhi Chimbaka, Jessica Ferrier and Heidi Bexel this month for your really kind comments about Tarot Card Success. It makes it so much easier for me to continue to make courses when I get those comments. So thank you very much for taking that time to review them on Udemy. So let's get started with talking about something that you may, as a reader, have been asked or will get asked, and it may have confused you a little bit, and that is, how do I use the tarot to find lost objects? So the first thing I'm going to start is by saying you don't. So, as if in, the challenge with using the tarot, there are ways to do it, and I'm going to talk about it now, but the challenge is if someone comes to you and says, hi, I've lost my diamond bracelet, can you use the tarot to find it? There is no tarot card that says to you, you dropped it behind your sister's couch, or you dropped it behind the shed out the back in your garden. Like, there's no tarot that says that. So you are going to get yourself very stuck when you get your cards and you're like, I don't know where this means. So, because tarot cards don't refer to a specific or geographical location, they refer to basically your spiritual journey and what you need to know. So for me, lost objects has always been much more of a psychic answer, and that's stuff that I teach in How to Be Psychic and psychic readings intermediate level, where you're strengthening your clairvoyance or your connection to your guides and your spirit guides and your angels and the ancestral masters, and you're getting that information coming through where either a visual or through your hearing or a feeling of where something is. You could use the tarot to confirm that, but as I said, there's no one tarot card that says, you know, you dropped it off your balcony, basically, which is, or it's in your car, because, you know, obviously cars weren't around when tarot was first being conceived of as the modern tarot anyway. So what I like to look at though with my clients, if you've got a client who's come to you and it's obviously something they're serious about, like they're not just testing you, like, oh, I lost my box of crackers, like it's something that's important to them, I would like to look at, okay, if you're someone who can't feel like you're confident enough to go into the psychic level of it, I like to look at, okay, what does this item symbolize to you? And why have you lost it? Like, what's behind this, so that A, you don't lose it again, or B, we do enough through this reading that you've got enough information that you can actually just know where it is, or you accidentally find it, or the universe returns it to you, if that makes sense. So one of mine that I was thinking about the other day that is a classic for me is not a lot, but let's just say in the last 20 years, I have probably lost my keys, like permanently lost my keys about 5 times. And it's always been a very traumatic experience. Anyone who's lost their keys, you know, and you're locked out of your house, it's a traumatic experience. And over the years, I've started to realise that the times that I have lost those keys have been when I've been really vulnerable about where I'm going to live. So the first time I can remember clearly losing my keys was when I was actually a nanny in London 20 years ago, and I was nannying and I was about to come back to Australia, and I was working all these extra jobs to make money to save to come back to Australia. And so I was a bit all over the shop, and I literally had the keys of the family I was working for, and I stepped outside the house with the dog that I was walking, and I got to the park, and then by the time I got to the park, the keys were gone. They just vanished. And I was obviously beside myself because the family were away and it was a big stress. But I remember thinking, what is this about? Why have it happened so randomly? And then, like I remember when I first moved to Sydney to start my business, my tarot business, and I didn't know where I was going to live. I lost the keys of the place I was staying. And last year during COVID, when I thought the owners of my place were coming back from Hong Kong, I lost my keys. And I started realizing, okay, this is a pattern. with me, what does it mean and what am I symbolically afraid of? And I now feel like, I can't say I'll never do it again, because I've gone in and cleared that fear. I feel like I'm probably hopefully not going to lose them again, or if I do, I'll find them. And the way I kind of feel like I know this, because I did some work on that and then I lost the keys, but I did find them again. So, those kind of things are what you want to look at with your clients. If they've lost a diamond bracelet, who gave them the bracelet? What does the bracelet mean to them? Has it been given and they feel like they're not worthy of the bracelet, like it's too good a gift? Or is it someone who they feel like they gave them the bracelet and there's some condition attached to it? Like maybe it's a parent and now they feel like they have to show up every Thursday and read to them all day long, even though they're really busy with their own children. Like, look at what the underlying reason of why it might have disappeared, especially if it's a random disappearance, like if it's something that cannot be explained. And so you can ask the cards something like, what do I need to know about losing this bracelet? Or what is the block I'm experiencing? Or why have I lost the bracelet? And see what comes up. And again, you could use even more intuitive stuff to go in there, but that's a way of trying to get to the bottom level of what's happening. So I think some of you have done some of my more psychic development courses. I talk about how one of the first clients I ever had, she came to me because she'd lost her engagement ring. And I did this whole big reading and healing session, and I couldn't see where the ring was. That wasn't coming through to me, but I just did some work on her about getting engaged and how she felt about that, really, and is she ready for this? And then she sent me a thing a week later saying she found it under the closet, I think it was, or under the cupboard. So look at why people lose stuff, and is it, what are they meant to learn from that? And that's one way you can use the tarot to help someone. Now, obviously, if the client's in front of you and demanding, I just want to know where it is, just gently and kindly let them know that that's not what the tarot is designed for. And if they don't want to do the reading with you, then that's fine, and give them their money back. But that's not what the tarot is for. It's not for finding something you drop behind the couch. So I hope that's helped anyone who's ever had to face a client with that question or thought about that themselves. I mean, there could be some obvious ones, like if you've got the Empress, maybe it's in your garden or something like that. But generally, the cards need to fit. They need to fit a location that's, kind of obviously going to be modern and relevant. Like, on the train tracks when you were crossing the train, that's not going to show up in a tarot card. So I hope that's helped. So, and as I said, like, that's just how I do it. Others might have different ways of doing it, but that's how I would approach that particular issue. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the quartz and the U position. So somebody asked me today, how come in Tarot Card Success, or in any of my other more advanced courses that I have on Udemy, that when I pull I think this one came from the love readings actually, yeah, this one, and when I pull a court card in the U position of a horseshoe or of a Celtic cross, how come I don't pull the additional card to verify if it's a person or if it's a situation or a personality you need to be? Because that's, as you know, those of you in Tarot Card Success know that's how I teach you if you're not sure what the court card means. The U position is the one position that 100% you don't have to pull the additional card for if it's a court card. Is it a frozen screen? Oh, I hope it's not my internet being crummy. I can see what you've said, Marcy. Can anyone else let me know if that's just Marcy or if it's my Australian internet? I'm just see if anyone else is getting a frozen screen. No, Marcy, it might be just me. It might be can someone type for her just to refresh it? Thank you, Scott. Nice to see you here. I'm glad you made it. So if someone could type, Marcy, just refresh, and then that way she might just need to refresh. It might just be a quick internet blip for her. So where was I on? Oh yeah. So the reason why that the U position doesn't need clarification as a court, because the U position is how you are feeling. So if you pull a Queen of Wands in the U position, it's how you are feeling, or how you are already behaving, or how you are, basically. If it's a Page of Pentacles and you're feeling maybe that you're starting a new job or something new, and a new project that's a financially gaining project, and you're feeling a bit vulnerable about it and you're learning new things. And so that for me is why it never needs clarifying. If it's a court card, then you are the court. So you just need to look at it and go, oh, the client is that court. That's how they're behaving. That's how they are feeling about the subject they have asked about. So I hope that makes sense in case you've ever wondered why I don't clarify things in the you position if it's a person, because that's who you are, basically. That's how you're feeling. And that's what that feeling position means, how you feel about this issue. And some of you might be like, well, what's the difference between how I feel about the issue and the present? So the present is what is going on and how you, which still might include how you feel, but the how you feel is getting deep down into, what do you feel about this topic? And that's going to lead me into the next discussion about dramatic tension. So those of you who don't know, that's a drama term, it's a movie term. But dramatic tension is, when there are things building in a dramatic way. This is a really bad way. This is a terrible way for a former drama teacher to explain this. But dramatic tension is where things are building up to a crux, but there is often contradictions and things that are existing. And the tarot is really interesting because people, as I said, they want to often break down each individual position to mean something, almost like a colour by numbers thing or a jigsaw puzzle. But where you get the richness of the tarot is when you look at what cards are working against each other or working together. So as I said, this is something I talk about a lot more in my love readings course and in my career readings course, but particularly in my new course, How to Read Tarot When You Struggle to Remember the Cards. And that is, I get people to identify how, like, the you position, like how is someone feeling compared to what they are fearing. So the hopes and fear card, if you've got a card, say for example, that is death, okay, so you're fearing that things are coming to an end, but you're feeling that you're ready for a new project. You get an Ace of Pentacles. So those two cards are working in contradiction, and you need to find a way to reassure your client of, okay, how to work with this contradiction. And some of you might be going, well, why is there a contradiction? I don't get that. What do you mean by that? Our lives as human beings are full of contradictions. We may want to travel and go around the world, and we get excited watching documentaries on travel or watching movies where people are in exotic locations like Greece or Africa, but we're really, really scared to get on a plane, like we're afraid of flying. So you can see they're the contradictions that humans constantly experience, and the universe gets very confused because quite often we might say something like, hey, I just want to go around and travel around the world and I want to be adventurous, but I don't want to deal with my fear of flying. And so again, the universe goes, we don't really know we don't know how to help you with that. You're going to have to pick one basically, or find a way to overcome this. And for me in tarot readings, if you look for what is working against them in the positions, like look how the positions are playing off against each other, but also look for where the positions are, especially with combination cards. So as I said, I talk a lot about combination cards in my new course about as a technique of looking at what cards are working together, like in pregnancy, like the Nine of Pentacles and the Empress and the Pages, like where they're working together in their positions, because that's where you'll find the deeper readings. That's where you'll find your client will feel if you're communicating to them, they're going to go, wow, yeah, this is really what's going on for me, instead of just color by numbers and this and this and this and this. So look at connecting the cards together. So in Tarot Card Success, I show you how to read the Celtic Cross and the Horseshoe in a very basic kind of way, but please feel free, and as I said, you'll do that in the higher level courses to experiment with, hey, maybe I'm going to start with the U position, or maybe I'm going to start with the end position, and look at how you can do that, especially when you see that there's a contradiction, because contradictions are exciting. Contradictions are the big blocks that are holding your clients back. So I hope that has helped everyone for looking at that dramatic tension. So start viewing your readings with a little bit more, which cards are working together, which cards are contradicting each other, and that's where you find the accuracy, and that's where you find the deeper insight, and you're able to go deeper with your client on being able to help them, because you're obviously able to say, hey, if you're really dreaming of this, like say you want new love, but you're still stuck in the past, like you've got one of those cards that's about being stuck in the past, and you're going to find it really hard. You're going to be pushing and pulling all over the shop. Let's find a way for you to overcome that fear so that the new love can come into your life. So I hope that's helped everyone, and anyone's got any questions about that, please pop them in here, and I hope that's helped if you are sometimes stuck on wanting to go deeper into your readings and feeling like, well, the reading's over in 5 minutes and I've explored all the cards. Look for those little nuances to get more deeper insight into what's going on for your clients. Now, I'm going to talk about and again, this is kind of even blends all in together. Someone asked me this week, they showed me a spread and said, okay, in the short term, they got the star. They were asking about a new career path. And in the short term, they got the star, which is all great, and in the near future position. But the long term position was something like the tower or death or something not very pleasant. And they said, what does this mean? Should I not go ahead with this? And da da da. And they got all, anxious about it, and they were really understandably worried. Is this a good reading or a bad reading? And obviously, when we get any kind of negative card, we can often send ourselves into a bit of a tailspin. And I really want you to get comfortable and familiar when you're doing it for yourself or other people, to learn that the negative cards are not the end of the world. They're just for now. And that a negative card showing up in your reading just means there's an area or a blind spot that you're missing, and it can be fixed and shifted and healed and changed, and it can often bring the biggest rewards. Like I often say, I would never be where I am today in this career that I absolutely love if I hadn't had a whole lot of tower moments and a whole lot of death moments and a whole lot of three of sword moments. I wouldn't be here. Like those moments are what strengthened me, what gave me new ideas. It forced me to turn left instead of right, and forced me to think outside the box, and forced me to persevere and let go of old negative beliefs and to grow. And so it's important that when you see a negative card that's contradicting, again, like you've got a good short term and a negative long term, it doesn't mean no, don't do this. It just means, hey, there could be a rocky road ahead. And those of you who have done the career reading course, especially, careers are hilarious. Like often we start and we kind of, maybe we love the people we're working with and it's all great. Someone new comes in and gets turned upside down, or you get a new responsibility and suddenly the job's not as fun anymore. Other things can go wrong, like maybe the bus doesn't go that way anymore and you've got to spend 2 hours commuting. Like all sorts of things can be in the roller coaster of our career and our job. So yes, it might go up and it might go down. It doesn't mean it's a negative. It just means, hey, yeah, that might happen. But if the overwhelming cards are positive, then just that you're having one negative one at the end doesn't mean that this is a no, don't do it. And in fact, that's why I often say that's where you would choose the extra cards to see what does it mean if I overcome something like the tower, or if I have a rocky moment where I feel like things are falling apart. And I often talk about, we don't want the soul to be denied of our lessons. Like sometimes we need to go through that really bad, icky stuff in order to find the diamonds. So that's why if you get a short term and a long term, don't freak out. Don't think, oh no, my client's got a bad reading. I just want to give them all the good stuff. Like they won't grow just from all the good stuff. And we all want to get the most happy, beautiful sugar-coated readings, but we're not going to grow, and we're not going to necessarily get what we need out of life if we just get all the good cards. We do sometimes need challenges to help us expand and evolve on this planet. So I hope that's made sense for anyone who has ever had that experience where they've had a short-term good card but a long-term icky card, and they've thought, oh, is this good news? Is it positive? Is it bad? Should they go ahead with this? That kind of thing. Now, getting on that topic of yes and no, and what's positive and what's negative. So I got asked this month if someone said, can you please just give me a cheat sheet for the yes and the no, so I know what is a good yes and what is a no. So those of you who aren't up to the yes no sections yet. So there are two ways of doing yes no questions. One is to go on the hierarchy of the cards. So a card, if it's say a 7 being higher than a 3, so to speak, in the suits, major arcana being higher than a minor arcana, so the major arcana of the emperor being a higher card than a 2 of wands or something like that. And the other way is the positive. Thank you, Scott. You love looking at the bad as lessons. Yes, absolutely. Like they're our most powerful, brilliant, beautiful gifts. And then looking at the other way is the positive versus negative. So is this card, you're asking a yes, no question and the card comes out as a positive or a negative and you go with whichever literally is the more positive. Now, before I begin on that, and I apologise to those who have heard this before, yes, no questions are not meant for your life changing big, should I buy this house, should I divorce this person, should I get married? They're not meant for that. They're really not. They're meant for questions, or will I? They're not meant for, will I pass my exam? Like That's not what they're for, those fortune telling ones. They're for you to make a decision, but keep them something like moderate, like, is it in my best interest, or what do I need to know about going to my sister's for Easter or something like that? Like, not things that are necessarily going to ruin and change your entire life. And if you get stuck on the positive versus negative, then stick to the hierarchy. Stick to that, because that's the easiest one. You can't go wrong with the hierarchy. Except if you get the same. So say you get a 6 of wands for a yes and a 6 of cups for a no. Then you go, oh, but they're both sixes, which is which? Then you revert to what you want the most. So if you want something that's going to lead you forward and power forward with lots of passion, then you go with the 6 of wands. If you want something that's a bit more emotionally connected, then you get the 6 of cups. So you go with what the suit is and what you most is important to you, whether it be love, whether it be money and business, whether it be, forward movement and action and change and fire, or whether it be something to do with the intellect or mental processes. So go with what you want the most out of those. Now, the complication with the using the positive and the negative, and the reason I had to kindly refuse providing a cheat sheet is, first of all, there are neutral cards when you do the yes-no. Like, the courts generally can tend to be quite neutral, but also you've got to remember, like, my interpretation of what a negative card is might be different to someone else's. And a classic example is something I get pulled up on by students who come and do Tarot Card Success that have done other tarot courses, is my interpretation of the Emperor. So for me, if I was gonna do a should I go out on a date with this guy, and I got the Emperor as yes, I'd probably run a mile personally, because for me, I've had enough experience with my Emperors that would feel like an old trigger for me, and I don't think I want to go back there. But other people might go, yeah, this is going to be a strong person that you're really going to gel with, and so as you can see, for me, I can see the Emperor as sometimes being a bit of a trigger to powerlessness. There's a lot of good qualities with the Emperor, but that's one of my things of how I read it. But other people might go, no, I always see the Emperor as a positive. So for me to say to someone, this card's negative and this card positive is just a subjective thing. Like, we all, and again, I teach you that more intuitive feeling stuff in the How to Read Tarot When You Struggle to Remember the Cards, about looking at a card and going, does this feel negative to me, or does it feel positive, and going into the imagery and being able to make an assessment that way more intuitively. And as I said, it's going to be different for everyone. And the other reason is, as people know, the cheat sheet thing for me just doesn't work. If you really want to discover for yourself if a yes or a no is a positive or a negative, then go through each of the cards yourself, and then sit there and do like I teach in my new course of just going more intuitive with it, and go, does this feel like a negative card to me? Does it feel like a positive card? And do that, and you'll learn it much quicker, rather than me just giving you, this is what Sal thinks is negative and this is what she thinks is positive. Tarot is so much about your own journey. Like, I'm just giving you a blueprint and some tips and suggestions, but and please feel free to contradict stuff that I say, because stuff will work for you in the tarot very differently to how it works for me. And that's totally fine. It's not a one size fits all, one card means this for everybody. So I hope that helps. So, Chelsea, so it comes more stronger the more experience you get with the tarot. Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, please don't underestimate the value and the power in continuing to practice and practice and practice. Your intuition will open up. You'll get and understand the patterns. I can look at something now after over 15 years of professional tarot reading, and just now it's just like, it's just like a Mozart piece forcing into place for me, because I've done thousands and thousands of readings. You get better the more you practice. You just start to see repeated patterns, especially when clients ask the same questions again and again, which they often do, and that card shows up again. You'll be like, oh, I know what's going on here. It becomes a lot more fluid and intuitive the more you practice, definitely. And as the more you're willing to kind of push yourself and go in there and see how you feel about a card as well. So I hope that's helped with people with the yes, no. It's not meant for every question, but if you are going to use it, choose like either the hierarchy, and just keep in mind too, people get a bit confused about the courts in the hierarchy. So the courts are the upper half of the minor arcana. So even a page of wands is higher than a 10 of wands. So think of it like playing cards. Chelsea, good to know is I have to sit and stare for a minute and get the wheels spinning. Yes. And that's why, as I often say, I'm not a really big fan of giving away dozens and dozens and dozens of free readings in groups like this. I say, if you're practicing and getting feedback, do 3 to 5 and, like give yourself the time to do it. It's not a marathon race, this kind of psychic, beautiful, artsy, gorgeous psychic arts healing work with the tarot. Give yourself the time to let things play out. So I hope that's helped anyone who's thinking about what card's positive, what card's negative, and yes, no, and cheat sheets as well. Now, I think I've covered everything. If you've got any questions, please retrograde Mercury in readings. So, I can't remember who asked this. It was a while ago, but I did want to bring it back because it's been a really interesting retrograde Mercury. It didn't knock me around that much at first, but now it's like about 7 of the planets are all in retrograde for a little while. So it has been a bit exhausting and intense for me anyway on some levels. And when the planets go a bit haywire like this, but people have asked me before in the past, should I not do readings during retrograde Mercury? Because that's when miscommunication comes through and maybe I'm going to get the wrong cards. And I would say, well, no, we can't live like that because retrograde Mercury is for 3 months of our whole entire year. So it means for 3 months, you'd never give people readings, which is unsustainable as a professional, but also in your own guidance. And because retrograde Mercury is very much about reflecting and going within and seeing what you need to finish in order to get the new happening and just being really cautious in your communication and double checking things and being a bit patient with computers and technology, because it means all that, then there's definitely value to be found in getting a reading during retrograde Mercury. However, I'm going to say the however. What I would do with a client is I wouldn't encourage them to make a big, huge, massive, life-changing decision during the retrograde Mercury period if they can avoid it. It's just not the best time to commit to a massive financial venture. It's a better time to finish off old projects and then wait till it's finished. Now, look, sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes the house that you've bid on is going to settle during that date. And, we can't be completely ridiculous and paranoid. But if you can avoid things, and definitely avoid making massive life-changing decisions during that time, would be my advice when you are working with your clients. Just because, and also not to PR retrograde Mercury. I had a hilarious retrograde Mercury experience last week where I mocked my own self by saying, I basically was like, it's weird, this retrograde Mercury, I haven't had any computer problems at all. And then I went to add this new lecture to the Master Health course on medical diagnosis and tarot cards, and my whole software editing system collapsed completely. Like, I've been using it for years and it just collapsed, and it just collapsed and collapsed and collapsed. And I realized I had to pay to upgrade it. And then when I went and researched about upgrading it, everyone said they were having problems with this download and plug-in. And I went, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to go back to Wondershare, which was the very first editing software I used when I did How to Be Psychic, like in 2014. But I have to go learn it all over again because it's new and I've got a Mac now and not a PC. But I remember thinking, you know what, I've been thinking for a while I wanted to go back to Wondershare because they're better with webcams. I can do shorter YouTube videos. And so instead of going into why me, retrograde Mercury, you've messed my whole computer schedule around, I just thought, okay, well, what can come out of this that's good? So treat retrograde Mercury experiences like that. If there's a big hiccup, go, okay, what comes out of this that's good? Or what do I need to reflect on? Or what do I need to change? Or where's the glass of full lemonade in this? And try to find that, and then you won't be as freaked out about it. So I hope that's helped anyone who's wondered about retrograde Mercury and readings. Chelsea, did you focus on tarot alone, or did you do the numerology and astrology as you were doing it? I feel like so much info is being crammed that I'm struggling to put everything together. So Chelsea, are you talking about Tarot Card Success? Or are you talking about my new course, How to Read Tarot When You Struggle to Do the Cards? Just pop that in for me and I'll be able to help you more with that answer. So if anyone else has got, how to get a free course from me this month. So for September, and from now, so say what it is, the 22nd of September to 23rd, 22nd, to the end of this month, because in honour of the fact that most of the people in the group are going back to school, and this is the return to term, if you buy any of my courses this month, then you get a copy of my Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping for free. So how to do this, please listen very carefully, all you need to do is go to saljade.com and just click on my psychic and tarot courses and just click on whichever course you want to buy, and then send the receipt once you purchased it to team@saljade.com. And I'll pop that in here, that information. It won't be used to be marketing, it'll just be used to give you your free voucher. So those of you who don't know, Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping is my course that I created for people who are struggling to trust their psychic messages. And it's a very gentle modality that helps you clear blocks to receiving psychic messages. But it's also if you want to be a professional, or you are a professional and you're really struggling to put yourself out there, like you're finding resistance that you're going to be judged, or you're finding resistance about charging money, or feeling like you're charging too much money, or finding that you're not attracting enough clients and you just want to clear your energy to attract more clients. And it also has some little tips about how I get more accuracy with my psychic readings as well. Those of you who are working with spirit guides and working with non-physical entities to bring in more information, that is a really good way to, sorry, I'm sitting on my leg here. That's a really good way to clear blocks if you're worried about those kind of things. So you get that for free. So all you have to do is make sure that you buy one of my new courses between now and the 30th of September. Send that to team@saljade.com, the receipt. And then my lovely assistant Kathy, within 7 or 8 days, will send you back a voucher for that free course, Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping. So I hope that's helped for anyone who's been thinking that they'd love to get a free course this month, a buy one, get one free. If there's some other my courses you've been stalking and thinking you might want, you can get a free course this month as well. And what did I have to say in case I forget something? Those of you who are on Udemy's email list, I did send one out this morning that said that you if you buy my new course, how to read tarot when you struggle to remember the cards, you get the Boost one for free. That's just for that email. For you guys, for your group, or if you're watching this on YouTube right now, it can be any of my courses. So if you're out there thinking, I've already bought that new course, then any of my courses you buy are eligible for this bonus and this promotion this month. So I hope that's helped. If you've got any questions, pop them in. And as I said, that's going till the 30th of September, where if you buy one of my courses, you get it free. If you've totally forgotten how to find my website, saljade.com, just go into the very end of your course and it says bonus gifts, and that's a list of all my courses and ways to get it so you don't have to pay the full price. If you're ever looking for my courses and they're coming up as full price, just go into the end of your lectures of Tarot Card Success and you'll see there all my courses at discounted rates. So I hope that's helped. Now, Chelsea, did I focus? So Tarot Card Success. No, please don't cram it all in now. Just focus, leave that behind, that what you were talking about, the astrology and all that, and just focus on the basics for now, because you're going to overwhelm yourself too much by doing too much all at once. Just focus on getting the basics down for now and practicing those little 3-card spreads as you go through each suit. And just, know, and be really patient. Like I said, most professionals agree it can take up to 6 months to really feel like you know the cards on a personal level. So just be really patient with yourself. Do those practice readings. Try not to do those practice readings on your friends straight away, not until you feel like you know the whole deck and you've learned the whole deck. Just do them on pretend clients. Like say, what would Roger, pull 3 cards and say, what would I say to Roger if he got these 3 cards, like the 4 of Wands, the 7 of Wands and the 2 of Wands? What would I say to him? And do it like that. And then you'll get really comfortable and fluent much quicker. So I hope that's helped, Chelsea. Don't cram it all in at once. And that's, some people have often said to me over the years, why didn't you include numerology and astrology and mythology and symbology and Tarot Card Success? So I created a whole separate program called the Advanced Tarot and Psychic Business Program on the Psychic Healing Academy, and that goes into those really deep esoteric topics on a much bigger level, but it's actually a prerequisite that you finish Tarot Card Success before you enroll in that. For that simple reason, because going into the mythology and symbology, for me, there's just too much coming in at once. You're asking yourself to remember 700,000 different things, and that'll really block your intuition. It's best to just start really small and just start and use those journaling exercises that are in Tarot Card Success of when has this happened to me, how do I connect with this personally, and use that as being able to help you on your journey. And then you can go on and do the more advanced stuff as well. Thank you. Do you think I can balance? Oh, did Heather say something? Learning tarot with you has actually helped me to become a less anxious person. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you. I'm also a whole lot happier. I wanted to thank you for everything. Thank you so much, Heather Ann. Do you think I can balance being a full-time teacher and doing readings as a side gig? Yes, you can. I do have actually one of my former students from my advanced tarot and psychic business program. She is a full-time teacher and she does it on the side. I see her pop up on Instagram. You definitely can, but just be slower on yourself. And remember, you're going to be wearing two different hats. And in fact, I often talk about I'm not a fan of people just totally 100% quitting their jobs and racing out and starting a brand new career, because it takes time to build up a tarot business. It takes time to expand that reach, and that's why I created that psychic business program on the Psychic Healing Academy, because I wanted to say to people, hey, it's not just put yourself out there and people jump in your lap and pay you. You actually need to learn how to do things and be patient, and then expand your influence and your reach, and learn how to make offers in Facebook groups that will sell, and learn how to connect with your warm audiences, and learn how to market yourself in a loving way that doesn't feel sleazy. And so I teach you all that in the Advanced Tarot and Psychic Business program, and it takes a while. It's not like a quick 3-hour course. It's like 60 hours of modules to build up your business and grow it in that, especially in the social media sphere. Because I know it's not something that takes overnight. It takes a while. So you can be doing that on the side while you are still working, and it's great because you've got the money coming in, so you don't have to panic that you're coming from a desperate feeling of trying to get clients. So yes, definitely do that. And something you might want to think about, Heather Ann, as well, and I've had a few of my students in my advanced program do this as well, is working the full time and starting to do a little bit of side business, and then seeing if you can gradually find a way to go part-time or job share, so that you've at least got some bread and butter money coming in. And people are often surprised to hear that with me, I was quite a few years of working other jobs on the side while I was building up my business. And I actually was glad for that, because sometimes if I got sick, or if, the things that I can do standing on my head, like teaching, and I would just do that if I couldn't take clients for some reason. So I hope that's helped. Myra, what kind of spread is best for love reading? So I do have a relationship spread, a specific relationship spread in my love readings course. So you can go and do that if you want to look more at more advanced love readings, and that's a specific one. But also, if you're thinking, well, I'm not really ready for another higher level course, I want to stay at this level, then just stick to the Celtic Cross and the Horseshoe. I would tell you overwhelmingly that at least 70-80% of my readings are done with love readings using those two, the Horseshoe and the Celtic Cross. So stick with that for now. Get really super confident with giving love readings with the Horseshoe and the Celtic Cross. They will give you what you need. And then if you want to advance, you might want to look at doing more other spreads as well. And that's something I talk about in my higher level courses. I say, don't feel like you have to learn 147 different spreads. Like, you'll just overwhelm yourself. Start really small, master these two that are in this course, and then expand and go on. So I hope that's helped, Myra. Now, has anyone else got any questions they'd like to ask about what we have shared today? If you're not sure about how to get that new bonus course, that Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT tapping course, and if you're not sure about the yes, no, anything you're not sure that I've talked about today that's confusing, pop it in here. If you're not watching me live anymore, and the way you know this is to look on the top. If you're watching this in Facebook and not YouTube, look on the top and see what the time says. If 20 hours have passed and I'm not here anymore, but you can just put #replay. And those of you who are on YouTube and you want to ask me questions, just pop them there too, and I will get that. And as I mentioned in the beginning, if you are watching the replay on YouTube, just hit subscribe, and then you'll get these every single month, and you won't have to kind of go around and hunt and dig for them and wait for them. So I hope that's helped everyone, and I hope that, thank you so much for coming. I didn't see, sorry, Brynhilda from Minneapolis, thank you so much. And thank you to Savannah and everyone else that came today. Chelsea, George, thank you. Francine, my gorgeous moderator, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Heather Ann and Myra. Thank you to everyone that came. Thanks, Scott. I'm so glad you can make it live too. Thank you. Bye, everyone. And again, if you've got any questions, just pop them in here or on the Q&A board. Mwah.